Decide exactly what you want. Clarity is key. Define your goal so precisely that even a child could understand and explain it. Write it down. Writing engages multiple parts of your brain, turning your goal into a tangible command for your subconscious and superconscious mind. Set a deadline. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. Specify a date to create urgency and focus. Make a list. Write down all the actions you need to take to achieve your goal. Add to it as new ideas come to mind. Organize the list by priority rank tasks in order of importance and sequence. Adjust as needed, but always know what comes next. Take immediate action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start small if necessary, but take that first step. Do something every day, consistent daily progress. Even small steps compounds over time and keeps your momentum strong. This system reinforces the power of intention, focus, and discipline. What part of this resonates with you most? Or is there a goal you're currently working on that you'd like to break down using this framework? Most people have vague aspirations, often expressing desires like, I want to be rich, but rarely taking the time to define what that actually means. How much money constitutes being rich? How soon do you want to achieve it? And what specific steps are you willing to take to get there? Clarity is crucial. The clearer and more specific your goal, the easier it is to work toward it. If you're married, it's even more powerful to sit down with your spouse and define your goals together. A couple aligned on a shared vision creates an incredible force, often referred to as the mastermind. When two people work together with a united purpose, their combined energy and focus amplify the potential to achieve the goal exponentially. Albert Einstein once said that if you can't explain your goal to a 6-year-old's child in a way they can understand, and then have that child explain it to another 6-year-old, you probably don't know what your goal really is. This is a profound test of clarity. If your goal is clear, not only will it make sense to a child, but you should also be able to measure your progress toward achieving it. Imagine a child not only understanding your goal, but being able to tell you how close you are to reaching it. This level of simplicity forces you to refine your thoughts and crystallize your objectives into something tangible and actionable. The next step is to write it down. The act of writing is not just about documentation. It's a declaration. When you write something down, you engage multiple parts of your brain. Your physical act of writing, kinesthetic ability, the visual confirmation of seeing the words on paper, and the internal voice you hear as you write, all combine to send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. Writing turns your goal into a command, a directive that your subconscious and even your superconscious mind begins working on, often without your conscious awareness. This is why written goals have such a remarkable impact. Studies conducted at prestigious universities like Harvard, Yale, and Cornell have shown that students who write their notes by hand perform significantly better than those who type them. Writing activates your brain like a laser beam, sharpening your focus and embedding the information more deeply. Once your goal is written, attach a deadline to it. A deadline transforms a wish into a target. Your subconscious mind needs to know when you expect to achieve your goal. And deadlines create a sense of urgency. Every goal should be phrased as if it's already achieved, ending with a specific date. For example, instead of saying, I want to save $10,000, right, I have saved $10,000 by December 31, 2025. This subtle shift in wording trains your mind to see the goal as a reality in progress rather than something abstract or distant. The next step is to make a list of everything you need to do to achieve your goal. Write down every action, no matter how small or insignificant it seems. As new ideas come to mind, add them to the list. Keep a notebook or a pad by your bed to jot down ideas that come to you at night. Those moments of inspiration can often provide the breakthroughs you need. Once you have your list, organize it by priority. Determine which tasks are most important and arrange them in the order they need to be completed. As you gather more information or circumstances change, revise your list. The simple act of organizing your steps is like turning the wheel of a massive ship. Your life starts to pivot in the direction of your goal. Once your list is organized, the most crucial step is to take action. Start immediately, even if it's a small step. Whether it's making a phone call, researching an opportunity, or ordering a book related to your goal, the important thing is to act. Taking that first step creates momentum, much like the kickoff in a football game. It may not seem like much initially, but it sets everything into motion. Finally, commit to doing something every single day that brings you closer to your goal. Consistency is the key to building momentum. Even small incremental progress adds up over time. Whether it's spending 5 minutes reviewing your plan or dedicating an hour to a significant task, daily action keeps your goal front and center in your mind. Over time, this persistent focus and effort compound, leading to incredible results. The combination of clarity, planning, and consistent action is a formula that can transform your life. When you follow these steps, you're not just working toward your goals, you're rewiring your mind and aligning your actions with your aspirations. Writing down your goals is not just a formality, it's a transformative process that sets the stage for success. When you write something down, you solidify it, making it tangible. A written goal is no longer an abstract idea floating in your mind. It becomes a concrete statement of intent. This act has a profound impact on your subconscious mind. Your brain begins to treat the goal as a command, directing your focus and energy toward achieving it. Beyond that, writing activates multiple parts of your brain simultaneously, making it far more effective than simply thinking or talking about your goals. Studies conducted at institutions like Harvard and Yale reveal that students who write their notes retain information much better than those who type. Writing involves kinesthetic, visual, and auditory processes, which together create a laser-focused mental state. This same principle applies to goals. When you write them down, you are essentially programming your brain for success. Once you've written your goal, the next essential step is to set a deadline. A goal without a deadline lacks urgency and clarity. Deadlines give structure to your intentions and transform vague aspirations into actionable objectives. Your subconscious mind thrives on specificity, and setting a clear deadline provides a target to aim for. For example, instead of saying, "I want to lose weight," you might write, "I weigh 150 pounds by July 1, 2025. This kind of specific and time-bound goal gives your brain a clear direction, turning your focus toward achieving that result within the given time frame. Deadlines also help you measure progress, creating milestones that keep you motivated along the way. With your goal defined and a deadline set, the next step is to create a list of actions you need to take. This step is crucial because it bridges the gap between intention and execution. Without a plan, even the most inspiring goal remains a fantasy. Start by brainstorming everything you can think of that might help you achieve your goal. Don't worry about the order or importance of the items at this stage. Just write everything down. As new ideas occur to you, add them to the list. Often, the act of creating this list will spark additional insights and possibilities you hadn't considered before. Keep a notebook or a pad by your bed for those moments when inspiration strikes in the middle of the night. These seemingly small actions, jotting down ideas or refining your list, are the turning points that set major progress into motion. Once you have a comprehensive list, the next step is to organize it by priority. Not all tasks are created equal. Some will have a much greater impact on your progress than others. By ranking your tasks in order of importance and sequence, you create a roadmap for achieving your goal. This process also helps you identify the most efficient path forward, eliminating unnecessary steps and focusing your energy on what truly matters. As you gain more information or circumstances change, don't hesitate to revise and update your list. Flexibility is key, but always maintain a clear sense of what needs to be done next. With your plan in place, the most critical step is to take immediate action. Many people get stuck in the planning phase, waiting for the perfect moment to start. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting only delays progress. Even if the first step is small, making a phone call, researching a topic, or scheduling a meeting, it's essential to act. Taking that initial step creates momentum, much like the kickoff in a football game. It signals to your brain and the universe that you're serious about achieving your goal. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you're in motion, it's easier to stay in motion. The final step, and perhaps the most important, is to commit to daily action. Progress doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in consistent, small steps taken every single day. By doing something each day that moves you closer to your goal, you build a habit of success. This daily effort keeps your goal at the forefront of your mind, reinforcing your commitment and focus. Over time, these small actions compound, creating exponential growth. Whether it's dedicating 5 minutes to a task or spending an hour on a key project, the consistency of your efforts is what ultimately leads to success. This approach not only ensures progress, but also builds confidence and resilience, qualities that will serve you in all areas of life. By following these steps, you're not just setting goals, you're creating a powerful system for achieving them and transforming your life in the process. Taking consistent daily action on your goals is one of the most transformative habits you can develop. The idea of making progress every single day may seem simple, but its power lies in the compound effect. Small, seemingly insignificant actions, when repeated consistently over time, lead to significant results. Success doesn't come from monumental efforts made once in a while. It comes from the steady daily pursuit of your objectives. When you commit to doing something every day that moves you closer to your goal, you build momentum. Momentum creates motivation, and motivation fuels further action. This cycle reinforces itself, making it easier to stay on track. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small, that aligns with your vision. Daily action keeps your goal alive in your mind. Many people set goals and then forget about them as they get caught up in the busyness of life. However, when you take even a small step every day, your goal stays at the forefront of your thoughts. This constant engagement trains your brain to stay focused on what truly matters. Your subconscious mind begins to work on your goal around the clock, often leading to creative ideas, unexpected insights, and solutions that seem to come out of nowhere. These coincidences are not random. They are the result of sustained focus and effort. By keeping your goal alive through daily action, you align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your desired outcome. One of the biggest challenges in pursuing a goal is overcoming the initial resistance to start. The first step is often the hardest because it requires you to move out of your comfort zone and confront the unknown. However, once you take that initial step, the next one becomes easier. Action creates clarity. As you move forward, you gain a better understanding of what works, what doesn't, and what adjustments need to be made. This process of taking action, learning, and adjusting is what propels you towards success. It's important to remember that you don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. Start with what you know, take the first step, and trust that clarity will come as you move forward. Another key aspect of daily action is the sense of accomplishment it brings. Even small wins create a feeling of progress and build confidence in your ability to achieve your goal. Each completed task, no matter how minor, reinforces the belief that you are capable of succeeding. This positive reinforcement strengthens your commitment and keeps you motivated. Over time, these small victories add up, creating a ripple effect that transforms your life. The sense of control and purpose that comes from making consistent progress is one of the most rewarding aspects of pursuing a goal. To stay consistent, it's helpful to break your goal into smaller, manageable tasks. Large goals can feel overwhelming, which can lead to procrastination. By dividing your goal into smaller steps, you make it less intimidating and more achievable. Each step becomes a milestone, giving you a clear sense of direction and progress. This approach also allows you to celebrate your achievements along the way, which boosts your morale and keeps you motivated. Taking daily action also requires discipline. There will be days when you don't feel like doing anything, when distractions and excuses seem to take over. On those days, remind yourself of why you set the goal in the first place. Reconnect with your vision and the emotions behind it. Think about how achieving this goal will improve your life and let that inspire you to keep going. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about prioritizing your long-term success over short-term comfort. Another powerful tool for staying consistent is tracking your progress. Keep a journal, checklist, or calendar to record your daily actions. Seeing your progress visually can be incredibly motivating. It provides a sense of accountability and allows you to reflect on how far you've come. When you see the effort you've put in and the results it's produced, it reinforces the belief that your actions matter. This feedback loop creates a sense of momentum that makes it easier to stay on track. Ultimately, the commitment to daily action is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely dream about them. It's not about perfection or doing everything right. It's about showing up every day and doing your best. Over time, this consistent effort creates a foundation for success that is unshakable. It transforms your habits, rewires your mindset, and aligns your life with your aspirations. Success is not a one-time event. It's the result of what you do every day. By committing to daily action, you turn your goals into reality and unlock your full potential. Taking action immediately, no matter how small the step, is one of the most critical factors in achieving any goal. Often, people delay starting because they feel they need to have a perfect plan or wait for the right moment. The truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist, and waiting only prolongs the distance between you and your goal. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. Even a small step forward, like making a phone call, reading an article, or drafting a basic outline of your plan, can trigger a series of events that propel you further than you expected. The key is to stop overthinking and simply start. Once you've taken that initial step, you'll find that the process becomes easier, and you gain clarity about what needs to happen next. Clarity often comes from action, not from endless planning. When you begin taking action, you also send a powerful signal to yourself and others. You demonstrate commitment and seriousness about what you're trying to achieve. This can attract resources, support, and opportunities you might not have anticipated. People are naturally drawn to those who are proactive and driven. Your willingness to act, even when the path ahead isn't entirely clear, sets you apart and establishes a reputation for being someone who gets things done. This energy creates a ripple effect, often inspiring others to support or collaborate with you in ways that accelerate your progress. Another important aspect of taking immediate action is that it breaks the cycle of procrastination. Procrastination often stems from fear, uncertainty, or a belief that you need to feel ready before you start. However, readiness is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite for it. When you take the first step, even if it feels uncomfortable, you begin to overcome the inertia that holds you back. Each small action builds confidence and reduces the fear or hesitation you might have felt initially. Over time, this practice of starting before you feel completely ready becomes a habit, making it easier to tackle new challenges and pursue even bigger goals. Taking action also helps you learn and adapt more quickly. No matter how carefully you plan, there will always be unexpected obstacles or opportunities that arise along the way. When you're actively engaged in pursuing your goal, you're better positioned to respond to these changes. You learn what works and what doesn't through experience, which allows you to refine your approach and make better decisions. This process of learning by doing is invaluable because it provides real-world feedback that theoretical planning simply can't offer. By taking action, you gain insights that help you move forward more effectively and efficiently in achieving any goal. Often people delay starting because they feel they need to have a perfect plan or wait for the right moment. The truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist, and waiting only prolongs the distance between you and your goal. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. Even a small step forward, like making a phone call, reading an article, or drafting a basic outline of your plan, can trigger a series of events that propel you further than you expected. The key is to stop overthinking and simply start. Once you've taken that initial step, you'll find that the process becomes easier and you gain clarity about what needs to happen next. Clarity often comes from action, not from endless planning. When you begin taking action, you also send a powerful signal to yourself and others. You demonstrate commitment and seriousness about what you're trying to achieve. This can attract resources, support, and opportunities you might not have anticipated. People are naturally drawn to those who are proactive and driven. Your willingness to act, even when the path ahead isn't entirely clear, sets you apart and establishes a reputation for being someone who gets things done. This energy creates a ripple effect, often inspiring others to support or collaborate with you in ways that accelerate your progress. Another important aspect of taking immediate action is that it breaks the cycle of procrastination. Procrastination often stems from fear, uncertainty, or a belief that you need to feel ready before you start. However, readiness is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite for it. When you take the first step, even if it feels uncomfortable, you begin to overcome the inertia that holds you back. Each small action builds confidence and reduces the fear or hesitation you might have felt initially. Over time, this practice of starting before you feel completely ready becomes a habit, making it easier to tackle new challenges and pursue even bigger goals. Taking action also helps you learn and adapt more quickly. No matter how carefully you plan, there will always be unexpected obstacles or opportunities that arise along the way. When you're actively engaged in pursuing your goal, you're better positioned to respond to these changes. You learn what works and what doesn't through experience, which allows you to refine your approach and make better decisions. This process of learning by doing is invaluable because it provides real-world feedback that theoretical planning simply can't offer. By taking action, you gain insights that help you move forward more effectively and efficiently. Consistency in action is equally important. A single effort, no matter how significant, is rarely enough to achieve a meaningful goal. Success is built on sustained effort over time. This means showing up every day and doing the work, even when it feels inconvenient or difficult. Consistency requires discipline and a strong sense of purpose. It's about making your goal a priority and committing to it no matter what challenges or distractions come your way. Each day's actions, no matter how small, add up over time, creating a cumulative effect that brings you closer to your goal. One way to ensure consistent action is to establish a routine. When you incorporate steps toward your goal into your daily life, they become habits rather than tasks you have to think about or force yourself to do. For example, if your goal is to write a book, dedicating 30 minutes each morning to writing can make the process feel manageable and automatic. And then routines eliminate the need for constant decision-making about when or how to work on your goal, freeing up mental energy for the actual work itself. Tracking your progress is another powerful motivator. When you take action consistently, it's important to measure your efforts and results. This could be as simple as maintaining a checklist, journaling your achievements, or using a tracking app. Seeing your progress visually reinforces the idea that your actions are making a difference. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment, which can keep you motivated even during challenging times. Tracking allows you to celebrate small wins along the way, which boosts your confidence and keeps you engaged in the process. Taking action every day also builds resilience. The journey toward any significant goal is rarely smooth. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. However, when you're in the habit of taking action, you develop the mental toughness needed to push through these obstacles. You learn to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks. Each time you overcome a difficulty and continue moving forward, you strengthen your belief in your ability to succeed. Ultimately, action is what turns ideas into reality. Without it, even the most brilliant plans and aspirations remain nothing more than dreams. Taking action doesn't guarantee immediate success, but it does guarantee progress. Every step you take moves you closer to your goal, and the lessons you learn along the way prepare you for even greater achievements. By making action a daily habit, you create a life that is aligned with your aspirations and driven by purpose. In the end, it's not the size of the actions you take that matters most. It's the consistency and intention behind them. When you commit to taking action every day, you unlock the potential within yourself to achieve anything you set your mind to. Organizing your list of tasks by priority is a vital step in turning your goals into reality. When you have a clear goal and a list of steps to achieve it, the next challenge is deciding which actions to take first. Not all tasks are equally important, and trying to tackle them all at once can lead to overwhelm and inefficiency. By identifying and focusing on the most important tasks, you create a roadmap that ensures your energy and resources are used effectively. This process is not just about checking items off a list. It's about strategically aligning your efforts with the actions that will have the greatest impact on your progress. The process begins by reviewing your list of tasks and determining their relative importance. Some tasks will have a direct and significant impact on your goal, while others might be secondary or even unnecessary. For instance, if your goal is to start a business, creating a business plan or reaching out to potential clients would take precedence over designing a logo or choosing brand colors. The key is to identify the tasks that will move the needle and focus on those first. This requires you to ask yourself critical questions. What task will have the biggest impact on my goal? What is the most urgent? What can I do today that will create momentum? Prioritizing your tasks not only ensures you're focusing on the right things, but also helps you avoid wasting time on distractions or low-value activities. It's easy to fall into the trap of working on tasks that feel productive, but don't actually contribute to meaningful progress. For example, spending hours perfecting minor details might feel satisfying, but if those details don't bring you closer to your goal, they're simply a distraction. Prioritization forces you to confront this reality and make decisions that align with your ultimate objectives. One effective way to prioritize is by using a system like the Eisenhower matrix, which categorizes tasks into 4 quadrants. Urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Tasks in the first category should be addressed immediately, while those in the second category should be scheduled for future action. Tasks in the third and fourth categories can often be delegated or eliminated altogether. This method provides a clear framework for determining where to focus your energy, ensuring that your efforts are directed toward what truly matters. As you prioritize your tasks, it's important to remain flexible and open to adjustment. Life is unpredictable and circumstances can change. New opportunities may arise, or unforeseen challenges might require you to shift your focus. Regularly reviewing and updating your list allows you to adapt to these changes without losing sight of your goal. Think of your task list as a living document that evolves as you gain new insights and make progress. This dynamic approach ensures that you're always working on the most relevant and impactful actions. Once you've organized your list by priority, it's time to create a clear plan of action. Break your tasks into manageable steps and set specific deadlines for each one. This not only makes a process less overwhelming, but also provides a sense of structure and accountability. When you know exactly what needs to be done and by when, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. Each completed task brings you closer to your goal, reinforcing your commitment and building momentum. Another benefit of prioritizing your tasks is that it reduces decision fatigue. When you have a clear plan in place, you don't have to spend time and energy deciding what to do next. This allows you to channel your energy into execution rather than deliberation. Decision fatigue can be a significant obstacle to productivity, especially when you're juggling multiple responsibilities. By organizing your tasks in advance, you eliminate this barrier and create a smoother, more efficient workflow. Prioritizing your tasks also helps you manage your time more effectively. Time is a finite resource, and how you allocate it determines the results you achieve. By focusing on high priority tasks, you ensure that your time is spent on activities that deliver the greatest return on investment. This is particularly important when you're balancing your goal with other commitments, such as work, family, or personal responsibilities. Effective time management allows you to make steady progress without neglecting other areas of your life. Finally, prioritizing your tasks fosters a sense of clarity and control. When you know exactly what needs to be done and why, you feel more confident and in charge of your journey. This clarity reduces stress and uncertainty, allowing you to approach your goal with focus and determination. It also empowers you to say no to distractions or requests that don't align with your priorities. By staying true to your plan and focusing on what matters most, you set yourself up for success. In summary, organizing your tasks by priority is a powerful tool for achieving your goals. It ensures that your efforts are aligned with the actions that matter most, helping you make meaningful progress without getting sidetracked by less important activities. This strategic approach not only maximizes your productivity, but also builds momentum, reduces stress, and creates a sense of control. By consistently prioritizing and focusing on what truly matters, you move closer to your goal with each step, turning your aspirations into reality. Taking action on the most important task from your list is the defining moment that separates planning from execution. It is one thing to strategize and organize your goals, but progress only begins when you actually start working on what matters most. Procrastination often disguises itself as preparation, keeping people busy with less critical tasks while avoiding the one action that would truly make a difference. However, when you identify and commit to tackling the most important task, you initiate a chain reaction that builds momentum and drives you forward. This step demands focus, courage, and a willingness to act, even if the path isn't perfectly clear. The first step is to identify the task that will have the greatest impact on your goal. This isn't always the easiest or most obvious task, but it's the one that aligns most closely with your desired outcome. For instance, if you're starting a business, The most important task might be securing your first customer or drafting a solid business plan, not designing a fancy website or ordering business cards. Focusing on the highest priority action ensures that your energy is channeled toward meaningful progress rather than superficial activity. It's about working smarter, not harder, by targeting the tasks that yield the biggest results. Taking action on the most important task requires discipline and focus. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get sidetracked by emails, social media, or other interruptions. To counter this, create an environment that supports deep work. Eliminate distractions, set clear boundaries, and dedicate uninterrupted time to your priority task. For example, you might schedule a specific time each day to work on your goal, ensuring that nothing else competes for your attention during that period. This level of focus allows you to fully... One of the biggest obstacles to taking action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, or even fear of success can paralyze you and keep you from moving forward. The key to overcoming fear is to start anyway, even if you don't feel completely ready. Action builds confidence, and confidence diminishes fear. Each step you take reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed, making it easier to tackle the next challenge. Remember, perfection is not required to begin. Progress is far more valuable than perfection, and the lessons you learn through action will guide you toward improvement. Starting with the most important task also helps you build momentum. When you accomplish something significant, it creates a sense of achievement that motivates you to keep going. Momentum is a powerful force that propels you forward, making it easier to sustain your efforts over time. Conversely, when you delay or avoid the critical task, it creates a sense of stagnation and frustration. By taking immediate action on the priority task, you break through inertia and set yourself on a path of continuous progress. Another benefit of starting with the most important task is that it sets the tone for the rest of your day. Completing a high-impact task early on gives you a sense of accomplishment and confidence that carries over into other areas of your life. It creates a positive feedback loop where each success builds on the last. On the other hand, putting off important tasks can lead to stress and a sense of being overwhelmed. By addressing the priority first, you create mental clarity and reduce the weight of unfinished business hanging over you. Taking action also provides valuable feedback. No matter how well you plan, you can't predict every outcome or obstacle. When you start working on a task, you gain real-world insights that help you refine your approach. You learn what works, what doesn't, and what adjustments are needed to stay on track. This iterative process of action and learning is essential for progress. It allows you to adapt to changing circumstances and continuously improve your strategies. It's also important to remember that the most important task is not necessarily the most time-consuming or difficult. Sometimes it's a single decision, a phone call or sending an email that can unlock new opportunities. What matters is that the task moves you closer to your goal in a meaningful way. Recognizing this helps you avoid overcomplicating the process. Success often comes from consistent, deliberate actions rather than grand gestures or monumental efforts. To ensure you take action consistently, cultivate a mindset of urgency. Treat each day as an opportunity to make progress, knowing that time is your most precious resource. Procrastination only delays your success and compounds the effort required to catch up later. By developing the habit of acting immediately on your priority tasks, you create a sense of discipline and efficiency that drives long-term success. This sense of urgency doesn't mean rushing or cutting corners. It means valuing your time and making deliberate choices that align with your goals. Ultimately, taking action on the most important task is the catalyst that turns goals into reality. It's the moment where intention meets execution, where dreams are translated into tangible results. The act of starting, regardless of how small or imperfect, creates momentum that carries you forward. It builds confidence, provides clarity, and reinforces the belief that you are capable of achieving your ambitions. Here, success is not about waiting for the perfect time or conditions. It's about doing the work one step at a time, starting with what matters most. Doing something every day on your most important goal is one of the most powerful habits you can develop to ensure consistent progress and ultimate success. It doesn't have to be a monumental effort each day. What matters is consistency. By taking even small steps daily, you build momentum and create a sense of continuity that keeps you connected to your goal. This approach shifts your mindset from seeing your goal as a distant aspiration to viewing it as an integral part of your daily life. It's a commitment to progress, no matter how small, and it's this commitment that separates dreamers from achievers. But when you work on your goal every day, you engage in what's often referred to as the compound effect. Small actions, repeated consistently over time, lead to significant results. For instance, if you want to write a book, committing to write just 500 words a day may not seem like much at first. However, by maintaining this habit, you'll have a complete manuscript in just a few months. This principle applies to virtually any goal, whether it's improving your fitness, learning a new skill, or growing a business. Daily effort creates momentum, and that momentum makes it easier to keep going, even when challenges arise. One of the key benefits of doing something every day is that it keeps your goal at the forefront of your mind. When you engage with your goal daily, you maintain a strong sense of focus and clarity. You're less likely to forget about it or let it get buried under the demands of everyday life. This consistent engagement also trains your brain to recognize opportunities that align with your goal. You'll start to notice connections, resources, and ideas that you might have otherwise overlooked. By keeping your goal top of mind, you create an environment where progress becomes inevitable. Daily action also reinforces your sense of discipline and self-accountability. When you make a commitment to work on your goal every day, you build trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable of following through on your promises, which boost your confidence and self-esteem. This sense of discipline carries over into other areas of your life, creating a ripple effect that enhances your overall productivity and effectiveness. The simple act of showing up for your goal each day sends a powerful message to yourself that your dreams matter, that you are willing to do the work to achieve them. It's important to remember that not every day will look the same. Some days you may have the time and energy to make significant strides toward your goal. Other days, your efforts might be more modest. That's perfectly fine. The key is to maintain the habit of doing something, no matter how small. For example, if your goal is to start a business, one day you might spend hours researching your market or developing a business plan. On a busier day, you might simply read a relevant article or jot down a few ideas. The point is to stay engaged with your goal and keep moving forward. Another advantage of daily action is that it helps you overcome resistance and procrastination. Often the hardest part of any task is simply starting. By committing to work on your goal every day, you eliminate the mental debate about whether or not to take action. Often the many consider debate about whether or not to take action. It becomes a non-negotiable part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or eating meals. This consistency makes it easier to push through resistance, because you've already made the decision to act. Over time, the habit of daily action becomes ingrained, and working on your goal feels natural and effortless. Taking daily action also provides you with valuable feedback. As you engage with your goal, you'll learn what works and what doesn't. This process of trial and error helps you refine your strategies and make adjustments as needed. For example, if you're learning a new skill, practicing every day allows you to identify areas where you need improvement and focus your efforts accordingly. This iterative approach accelerates your progress and ensures that you're always moving in the right direction. One of the most transformative aspects of daily action is the sense of accomplishment it creates. Even small wins can have a big impact on your motivation and confidence. Each time you complete a task, no matter how minor, you're reminded that you're capable of making progress. These small victories add up over time, creating a sense of momentum that propels you forward. This positive reinforcement keeps you motivated and excited about your goal, making it easier to stay committed. To ensure that you stick to your commitment, it can be helpful to create a system for tracking your progress. This might involve keeping a journal, using a habit tracking app, or simply crossing off days on a calendar. Seeing your streak of daily action grow can be incredibly motivating and serve as a visual reminder of how far you've come. It also holds you accountable, as breaking the streak becomes something you're less willing to do. Incorporating daily action into your routine also requires you to prioritize your time effectively Life is full of competing demands, and it's easy to let your goal slip down the priority list if you're not intentional about making time for it. By committing to do something every day, you're forced to evaluate your schedule and carve out dedicated time for your goal. This might mean waking up a little earlier, cutting back on less productive activities, or finding ways to streamline other responsibilities. The effort is well worth it, as the consistency you build will pay dividends in the long run. Ultimately, doing something every day on your most important goal is a practice that transforms your aspirations into achievements. It's a declaration of your commitment and a testament to your determination. Through daily action, you create a sense of purpose and momentum that drives you forward, even in the face of challenges. It's not about perfection or monumental efforts. It's about showing up day after day and doing the work. Each small step brings you closer to your goal, proving that consistent effort is the true foundation of success. In conclusion, consistent daily action on your most important goal is the key to making steady progress and turning aspirations into reality. By committing to even small steps each day, you build momentum, reinforce discipline, and maintain focus. This habit creates a sense of accomplishment and self-accountability, while also providing valuable feedback for continuous improvement. Over time, the compound effect of daily effort leads to significant results, helping you stay on track and motivated. Ultimately, success is achieved through the commitment to show up every day and take meaningful action, no matter how small.